too often to get a nice view. Take
No,
him
you
in.
don't.
Yep.
No, you don't.
Oh, this is a climb to finally get there. This is what you look like when you come up a couple thousand feet in a mile, non-stop and steep, and definitely more tired than I was in the first week or two. Oh man, I still have to go to the top of this freaking. I cannot let it go. Got a cold breeze now. Definitely a nice view. Well, Rufus is not maybe too far behind me. We stuck together until the bottom of this hill. This is the pretty much only hill, except for the foggy lens. It's a little dirty, I guess, from sweat. And downhill again, a little bit of a plateau, and a couple viewpoints where I'll stop for lunch. It's only 10 o'clock right now. We began at like 8:15. And then the long descent down to the Knock. And we are staying at the Rufus Murphy shelter, which is 1 mile away from it. Rufus will probably walk in from there after dropping his bag with me to find out if his poles were forwarded there for his tent. Hopefully they are. And he'll get something to eat and drink probably, and then make the mile walk back to the shelter. I'll double check that how far the shelter after the Knock is. Probably too far. Because it's a long, long climb out from the Knock. And then trying to get to the 150 mile mark and have Cuddles pick us up. Anyway, so shout out to Saturday morning. Friday night I was thinking of my Friday night eating group with Hub, Fran, Terry, and Herb, and sometimes Rick. And it was about 5 o'clock their time when I'm looking at my watch, and I knew by 5:30, even to try FaceTime, the connection probably wouldn't be good, and Terry probably didn't have his iPad or wouldn't even know that I was trying to connect. So maybe when I know I'm going to be in a hotel or hostel and it's not too late as the days get longer, I'll try to connect with you guys during dinner, at least for half an hour. And anyway, it's a Saturday. I felt a little bit of raindrops coming up, but low-lying clouds. I think it will hold off. But what do I know? Anyway, talk to you later. Not much holding this one up. So I'm at the peak before descending down into the Knock. Ooh, a last little climb before the great descent, and I'm just wondering which one of those hills is the one that we have to climb out of. Yeah, potentially rain clouds. Oh well, I'm gonna sit here and have a little bit of food. Oh, the Ozark boys were nice enough to take their late evening festivities over to their campsite. I got the impression they could tell that there were a bunch of very tired hikers that rolled in last night. I mean, I beat, and I know Rufus feeling it too. And this morning, both Green Bean and Take Two had left even before I knew they were gone. They took off in the dark and were so quiet about it, didn't wake me up. Anyway, oh, here comes Rufus now, so I guess we'll have a little bit longer break here before we begin the descent. Nice outlook on the way down. Don't know exactly where we're going, but it's a long way down. Beautiful views. It is a precarious route down the mountain. I imagine that would have been scary to be in the area when that happened. Well, I got to the Rufus Morgan shelter. I was behind Rufus after he started off from where I had my little lunch, and I guess he got here and he was waiting for me or watching for me, and down at the path, kind of way down there, and I guess he lay down for a bit, and I must have gone by, because I'd gone on, and I'd passed this opening, but it looked like a vacant area. I even remember looking up to my right a bit, and I didn't see anything. So I kept on going, and at one point I decided to look on the map and saw that it was 0.2 miles back. And I thought, back? And I thought, did I walk right by a pathway or something? Anyway, I walked back and I came upon this open area, and I looked up the hill again, and in the distance I could see the shelter and the privy, and I thought, oh, I wasted an extra half a mile almost. And as I walked up, Rufus was calling out to me, and it's just him and me here right now, and I think it might be quite possible that a lot of people likewise will walk right by and not even know that they missed the shelter and end up walking right into Knock. But I'm sure some will catch it and turn around and come back. Anyway, it's nice to know we're here. Rufus has just gone on now for the walk to Knock to find out if his poles are there, and he'll probably get something to eat or drink when he's there. And hopefully he'll have good news. Otherwise, I'll just be sitting here and listen to a podcast and keep my feet up and relax for a bit. So some questions that were asked by my sister and friends were things like, have I lost weight? And I can only imagine I must have, because of all the workout and the lack of food in comparison to the amount of work. But I didn't weigh myself before I left, and I don't have a scale. The next thing, my feet, well, they feel pummeled. They feel a little beat up as you walk the trail all the time, and it's not really that there's any one thing in my feet that hurt. I don't per se have blisters. Amazingly enough, my left heel pad isn't really a problem anymore. I think that new insole took care of that. And but I just took off my boots a few minutes ago and tried to elevate my feet, and they're almost painful to have the feet elevated. It's like that. And then, that was at 2 o'clock, and started walking at 8 o'clock, and had about a half an hour lunch break. So other than that, it's walking and a lot of downhill today. Well, routine. I guess routine is pretty basic in the morning. As soon as you wake up, one of the first things you do is start stuffing your down into your compression bag and the phone in my pocket. Put the battery pack in its bag and put that into the ditty bag, I call it. That has a pile of stuff in there. And grab my pack, pull out the things I threw in there that didn't need to have at that moment, and start putting in the down, and then my down jacket, and then my clothing bag, and then that ditty bag, the bug net for my hammock, and my sleeping pad after it's been deflated and rolled up. And then I close the top of the plastic, tucking in around the side, and then the food bag after I have my morning oatmeal or whatever I have in the morning. And because the bag is often wet if it rained in the night, and that goes on top of that inside the pack. Roll the pack shut. If I use the plastic sheet like I have here, my Polycro, which is window insulating film that is very puncture resistant, so it will help protect my inflatable pad. I use it sometimes, other times not. That will go away. Water bottles will be filled if they're not filled already. Sometimes I'll use the Sawyer water filter, but very often I'm finding I'm using the pills, and yeah, I just do that if I don't need water right away. And yep, maybe put on the raincoat or tuck the raincoat into the back of the pack underneath the top strap so I can pull it off if I need it right away. Boots are on, Crocs are linked in with a carabiner, water bottles are attached to the shoulder straps, pack is thrown on, and if I don't forget, I get my hiking poles and I walk off. And I always turn to look around to make sure there's nothing laying there. So, problem of having hiking poles maybe tucked away like they were that time, I didn't notice them, so it didn't click. Food. Just living on the standard stuff that everyone eats. One of the side dishes, the bag of flavored mashed potatoes. I might put some bacon bits into it. We can also add olive oil for more calories. Could potentially add tuna or other sort of things. I think people have been putting crushed Frito-Lay corn chips, whatever, into it. I also have the tuna packets and the rice side, nor rice sides. I tried the pasta and I wasn't really too keen on them, but the rice seems okay. And those are the basics of the meal. Then I might have some burrito wraps. I could put some peanut butter or almond butter or something like that on it. Or, as I did today, I had cheese and pepperoni. While the temperatures are cool enough to keep that type of thing for 3 or 4 days. The cheese gets a little oily, but doesn't smell bad. So it's still good. Nothing growing on it. That might get dated after a while. I haven't had any ramen yet. I've got one ramen thing in there, and I think people throw some powdered potato flakes in it from the mashed potatoes to thicken it. And anyway, there are a few different things people do, but after a while, I'm sure I'll get fed up with it, and I'll find something else. Like I'll be going back to using Nutella and roll-ups. I did that back in January. I really liked it to the point where I did it too much, and I thought, oh, maybe I don't want to do this for a while. So I'll probably get back to that. Nothing else aching the body. Tomorrow is a very, very steep and tall, like 3,000 feet elevation gain to the peak. So even though it's 8 miles to Sassafras Shelter, it will probably take, it'll probably be 2 or 3 o'clock by the time we get there, and be probably pretty tired. And everyone from here, and probably everyone from Knock, who's staying at the shelter there, will probably be heading for that one. So hopefully we'll get an early start and get going. There's only 1 mile to Knock. Rufus has gone there at the moment to check tent poles, and he'll be back, I'm sure, after he's had a drink and something to eat. I'll have to get some water later too, but I'm the only one in the area, and it's very, very peaceful. And I didn't expect to have a shelter to myself, albeit with Rufus, who's gone for the moment, because everyone's on the trail.
Literally.
Downfall came right into the campsite. Pretty recent.
I wrecked coming back.
There's the AT down there.
Black ice. That sucked.
Oh, it does.
Coming back from his neck of the woods too. I'd crossed over into Vancouver. Yeah. And then I was coming back.
Yeah, today I felt like there was something digging into my left shoulder. I finally took off the pack, put the raincoat on, or take it off, and it wasn't anything in the pack. I thought, oh, maybe it's a muscle or something. Anyway, I had Rufus take a look after lifting my shirt up, and there's a little red mark. So I think an ant or a spider might have somehow bit me, although I'm not sure how, because I've had clothing on all the time. Being on the AT, you embrace the funk, embrace the stank, and wear the same clothes day after day after day. You just learn to live with it. You throw society's rules aside and turn yourself into a different person. Anyway, it's supposed to be really raining hard tomorrow. So we might actually end up staying in a shelter here tonight, or for another day. Well, let's see how bad the rain is in the morning, and either take a shot at it, because it's a long uphill, or just wait a day because the weather is supposed to turn better. It's really nice now. Too bad it wouldn't stay. Ooh, big scary snake heading toward that pack. Ooh, it's got to be just over 3 feet. Cool.
Making him go the wrong way.
I don't know. Is he venomous?
No, that's just a black snake.
Oh, okay.
Freaking cool as all get out.
Moves pretty good.
You sure he's not venomous?
No.
That's what I thought.
No, he doesn't have a tail.
Huh?
No, I think it's just a black snake. I don't know, he's got a pattern to him. He's coming up though.
It's gonna go. Oh yeah. He's looking at going up. Oh, he's looking for under.
For a hole.
Looking for a place to hide, I think.
Stay out of my sleeping bag. Way cool. Wow.
Your roundhouse kick.
Hey, dude.
He's coming for you.
Get on my pack.
This is better than fire for entertainment. Yeah.